I've got a very short article. We're just going to mention it because I've done a few topics on the North Korean presence in Ukraine for a bit now. We've been speculating why is it that, uh, okay, the speculation has been how exactly would the North Korean troops be used in Ukraine, right? Like, is it to supplement the forces already in the south and the east of Ukraine? The big sort of prevailing theory, the big sort of hypothesis would be that the North Korean troops would be sent to Kursk to sort of push back the Ukrainian units that have entered Russian territory, which would allow Russian forces sort of, so to speak, not to worry about the region of Kursk and keep focusing on attacking um the southern and eastern regions of Ukraine, southeastern regions of Ukraine, right? That was the basically that's basically what a lot of people uh, claimed, and it seems now like some level of confirmation has been given to us, albeit by the Ukrainian side, that indeed North Korean troops are being deployed in the regions of Kursk. We're seeing some sort of um, confirmation of that. We're going to take a look at this extremely short article that talks about it. North Korean troops deployed in Kursk region, claims Ukraine. Ukraine's military intelligence said on Thursday that the first North Korean unit trained in Russia had been deployed in the Kursk region, a Russian border area where Ukrainian forces have made an incursion. Um, Maybe North Korea is getting. I mean, North Korea is definitely getting something out of this deal, be it uh, payment, be it um, exchange in technology information, be it even things like helping with subverting the sanction against North Korea. There are many potential benefits that North Korea could get out of this whole arrangement, and that is why South Korea is so nervous about it, and that is why South Korea have been ringing the alarm bells, have been sort of very loud about what's happening with North Korea and Russia. The statement on the intelligence agency's Telegram channel said around 12,000 North Korean troops, including 500 officers and 3 generals, were already in Russia, and training was taking place at 5 military bases. 12,000 troops is what I believe the number given by the South Korean intelligence. The Ukrainian agency added that Russian Deputy Defense Minister Yunusbek uh, Yevkurov had been tasked with overseeing the training of the North Korean military. Russian President Vladimir Putin did not deny that North Korean troops were currently in his country. So there you go. He said on Thursday that it was Moscow's business how to implement a partnership treaty with Pyongyang, referring to a comprehensive strategic partnership the two countries signed in June, like the continuation of the partnership that North Korea used to have with the USSR during the Cold War. And apparently, there is a secret appendix, there's a secret protocol that basically talks about Ukrainian um sort of having to face North Koreans in combat, about North Korean troops entering the conflict. Ties between Moscow and Pyongyang grew deeper after Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. The Kremlin has previously dismissed reports about a North Korean troop deployment as fake news. But as it often is the case with Russia, fake news very often become quickly quite the real news. because I quite remember when Russia also claimed that it possibly invading Ukraine was fake news. I remember that. I remember, I think there was this ambassador in one of the countries, I believe it was Great Britain, that said, oh no, there won't be any invasion. That's just fake news. That's just ridiculous. Russia will never invade. And then after the invasion happened, this ambassador was called. I believe he was called on live television and was asked, okay, hello. So you said there would be no invasion 100%. So what happened? What's up? Did you lie to us? And it was like, technically speaking, I did not lie to you because this, that, or the other. But I remember. China has a pact with North Korea, by the way, if I remember correctly. Is the only country to have a formal pact with. Yes, China is in fact a an ally to North Korea, and also um, China is a supplier of Russia in this conflict as well. So let's remember that. The big fear that South Korea especially has, and also the rest of the world, is that Russia will share its nuclear technology with North Korea and will speed up its nuclear program. That's like the biggest worry that comes out of this whole. Well, it depends, of course. There are many long-term as well as short-term ramifications of this sort of alliance that North Korea has entered with Russia. But de facto, we have now two countries actively at war with Ukraine, Russia and North Korea, which we've already discussed how South Korea has um, talked about the idea of possibly sending weapons, offensive weapons to Ukraine directly, which it has not done so far. So far it has either supplied Ukraine with weapons indirectly through third party countries such as the US or Poland. And when it comes to direct aid, it has been humanitarian aid such as demining equipment. That has been something that um, South Korea has um, given to Ukraine. And now South Korea has been talking more openly about the possibility of giving offensive weapons to Ukraine directly. Alas, there apparently are many uh, legal issues that might make it impossible. Like the fact that South Korea has some very real limitations as to and regulations when it comes to sending weaponry to active conflicts, to active conflict zones. Although there was this lawmaker, his name was Kim, that said that those loopholes could be there could be loopholes that could allow those regulations to be walked around. That's sort of a good news when it comes to the possibility of South Korea sending weapons to Ukraine. The bad news is that that lawmaker that pointed out that loopholes can be created to bypass the law is also a lawmaker that is very staunchly against supplying Ukraine and said that he will propose bills that will very swiftly um sort of plug those loopholes. So that is the bad thing about it. That the person that raised in which way the weapons could be supplied to Ukraine said that he will do now all in his power to block that possibility. So that's definitely not good news when it comes to the whole topic, unfortunately. I recently heard that they are trying to push for peace, or they did that in the latest BRICS summit. Well, the latest BRICS summit didn't really have many pushes for peace in Ukraine. The latest BRICS summit was more of a win for Putin than anything else. There was not much talk of Ukraine during the latest BRICS summit, actually, from what I've seen. Xi Jinping, among world leaders, is in Russia advising against escalation. Subheading in the Guardian article about it. And yet China is supplying Russia, so escalation can be read in many different ways. Escalation can be read in many different ways. I know one thing, because Russia has very recently changed its nuclear doctrine. It has made a very big appeal to the like Russia has changed this nuclear doctrine, and we all know that means more saber rattling. But interestingly enough, China is among, and of course India are among the strongest parties that are very, very in favor of the nuclear taboo. They like the nuclear taboo very much. So all the way back in 2022, when Russia started sort of ramping up its nuclear rhetoric, basically both China and India, in very calm and diplomatic terms, said, don't go that path. Do not pursue that path. And then Russia sort of backed down. And Russia is sort of forced to listen, especially to places like China, because without China, Russia would be very hard pressed to be able to continue its current war path without the support in any capacity of countries like China. So its nuclear decisions in a way are not just its own. There are more parties at play, there are more things at stake. The nuclear taboo is a taboo for a reason, and not many countries are willing to break it. There we go. That's sort of my ending to this very short North Korea entering Ukraine sort of thing.